The general consensus from card collectors, card enthusiasts these days seems to sort of target and put influencers and card show vloggers, I say influencers like that, right, as people that are there to try and manipulate you, line their own pockets by telling you things that will benefit them. I think that's true for a few of them. I don't think it's true for everyone. So let's chat through that today. Hey everyone, Dan the Cardman back again. Welcome to another video. Very glad to have you here. Thanks for joining that. Today's topic's pretty exciting. I'm going to talk through, why you as a card collector, investor, enthusiast need to sort of do your own research when it comes to making decisions to buy certain cards or buy certain PCs or collect certain things rather than just taking the word of an influencer on a video as gospel, right? And there's a few things I want to talk through here. Now, it's pretty funny because this video has been on my list of things to do for many weeks now. I always had it scheduled for today. So when I went to record, I woke up in the morning and I saw Sports Card Radio had actually released a similar video to this. And their video is basically sports card influencers doing what they do best, essentially, right? And this video just highlights a bunch of different influencers. Again, I'll use rabbities again and talk through, all the bad things that have happened within the hobby over the last 2 years and why some people that make videos will say one thing, but then 6 months, 12 months, 18 months down the line, you start hearing a bit more information around, okay, that's why they said that, right? Because they were lining their own pockets, or they just showed they've got no idea what they're talking about. And a lot of these guys will tell you that they invest in certain cards and products and certain things like that, which again has ulterior motives potentially. So you can see guys in here like Sports Card Investor. There's a few others, Ken Golden's in here. They Sports Card Radio, say what you want about them. They make really good content and they call out really good things within the hobby. And when I say good things, I mean they're calling out people that are intentionally out there trying to scam users and things like that. So I really like their content. But at times they can be a bit tongue-in-cheek, and I don't like everything they're doing, but that's life, right? I'm not going to hate on these guys because of the certain things they do. I think they do a lot of good. A lot of people like them for that, but then they do some things here and there that a lot of people don't like them for. So sort of take that with a grain of salt, like anything in life, right? I don't always agree with them, but they do some really good content for most of the time. Now, like I said, this video is pretty interesting. They just highlight a few things, and they're a bit tongue-in-cheek, Sports Card Radio, with how they approach things typically. Let me just jump back to the full camera for the time being before we jump to the next video. But they're a bit tongue-in-cheek in the sense that they've grouped all these people that I think if you watch this video, there's definitely people in there, like Mark's Cards as an example, like Platinum Breaks, like Backyard Breaks, that have essentially been proven to be scammers in some shape or another, right? Or have proven to be maybe disingenuous. Or not maybe, they definitely have been proven to be disingenuous with some of their actions, right? And they've got those guys in there, but then they've got people like Card Collector 2 in their video as well. And I'm like, from my perspective, I don't put Card Collector 2 in the same bucket. Now, this purpose of this video today is to talk through that, right? Because you as a collector, as an investor, as a card enthusiast, whatever you want to call yourself, you sort of need to do your own research and make your own decisions, right? And what's unfortunate with what these influencers and vloggers do is they'll sort of make content, and it's almost aimed at taking advantage of like the inexperienced people within the hobby, like new people within the hobby, young kids, maybe people that just don't know any better, right? So these people watch these videos, watch what these people are talking about, and then rush to do the same thing without understanding the background behind why the person in the video has said they wanted to do it or what their agenda was in the first place, right? And there's some people out there that very clearly have shown to have done this intentionally, right? And it's purely there to sort of manipulate the market to get you to buy something that they can then dump down the line, right? And this has happened countless times. I'm not going to talk through the specific details, but I just want to make a distinction here because you have people like Card Collector 2 that comments on things he's buying, right? Comments on plays he's making. Yes, he made a mistake with Mark's Cards, and that's just a poor business decision, but I don't think he's a bad person based on the videos I've seen. I could be wrong, but you guys get the idea. Now, he gets categorized in the same bucket because what happens is he'll say he's buying XYZ player or he sees a play with these type of cards. So he does it and people that watch him go ahead and do the same thing, and then they lose out on money because the cards tanked for whatever reason. And then people will be like, well, mate, Ryan, you just did that to shill your prices and take advantage of us as collectors, right? Which I don't think is right, okay? So what you need to be doing if you are inexperienced, and I think most of my viewers don't fall into this bucket, right? Because most of them are similar age to me, so they've got life experience, things like that, so they don't just follow things blindly. But if you are, you just do your own research, right? Just because somebody is saying they want to do something, just because someone is saying invest in this company or use this service, doesn't mean they are trustworthy, right? Just because you watch their videos doesn't mean they are trustworthy. And I've said this in previous videos as well. Because you see me talking about things doesn't mean I'm trustworthy. I like to think I'm trustworthy, right? I'm a CPA and things like that. So as a byproduct of that, I've got certain ethics to maintain, let alone the ethics you need to maintain just to be a good person, right? But take it with a grain of salt because, again, you don't know what this person that you're seeing on a video actually does in the real world, right? They could just be playing a character on camera. So be very careful. Collect what you love. At the end of the day, that's all that matters, right? Collect what you love. Now, this is pretty interesting. The reason why I flagged myself just then is because Retro Hoops went through a similar thing recently where he had to make a video talking about people that were questioning him, pumping and dumping, because he was saying he wants to collect, I think it was these Hakeem Olajuwon Prism. He was chasing a rainbow. And he was talking about that, or talking about wanting to use SGC as an example. So people are like, oh, you're just a shill for SGC. You're trying to get people to pump the price up of SGC slabs, which is a bit ridiculous, right? Because there's a very distinct difference between, like I said, people like Retro Hoops, people like me, people like Card Collector 2, as an example. I don't know him in person, so I can't comment. But they're saying what they like to do, what they like to PC. So just because they like to PC something and have a platform doesn't mean they are there to manipulate the market intentionally. There is a byproduct of that. Now, some of these other points where I talk about, okay, you need to do your own research as a collector, as an investor. Yes, you need to do that. But what I think also needs to be kept in like front of mind is that some of these guys that are making videos are quite young. They're in their early 20s. They don't have any life experience. They don't have any business experience, right? They've just come straight out of high school, straight out of college, community college, whatever they are, but they've got no life experience. So when they're making these videos, they're not stopping to think about the actions their words are going to have on the market, right? So when somebody like Mojo Sports, there's a video that Sports Card Radio always play, and this is why I say they're a bit tongue-in-cheek, because I don't think this was intentional from Mojo Sports, because I just don't think he knew any better. But he was talking about how he met Mark's Cards once and was talking about what they were doing as a business was perfect, and that's why you should use them as a customer, because they're doing some really cool things and they're a family business and it's all about love and all that sort of stuff, right? Whereas when I saw that, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, Mojo, you're a young kid. You're saying that to me, but I don't know. You've got no background, so I can very clearly read through that, right? I know you're just saying that because you think that's what you need to say, and you're looking at things on face value, so that's why you're saying that. Whereas people that don't have the experience that I do, and probably that you don't either, as a young kid, seeing that, like, oh, Mojo Sports said to use Mark's Cards, so we're going to run and use Mark's Cards. So I think that's sort of a life lesson for someone like Mojo to sit back and say, well, maybe I won't be so quick to endorse something next time. Because in the back of his mind, he was probably just being a nice guy, just trying to talk something up, but he didn't stop to think about the actions of his words, right? Because if he stopped and thought about, okay, if I'm going to endorse these guys, a lot of people look up to me, a lot of people follow me. If I say something and it gets all these people to then follow because they like me and they support me, and they jump into this and this thing goes pear-shaped, that's going to fall on me, right? And that's probably what he should have done, which is why I've said at the very start of the video, I know I'm rambling now, why Sports Card Radio probably should have made that distinction. And then instead of lumping everyone together, where you've got these intentionally disingenuous people that have been proven to rip people off, and then you've got people that are just collecting and making videos, they're not the same. You might get the same outcome in terms of the impact they're having on the market, and people in turn getting like themselves caught out with buying poor cards and things like that, but they're not the same. You've got people that are doing it intentionally, and then you've got people that are doing it as a byproduct of them making videos. So cut the guy some slack, I would say, but again, take things with a grain of salt. Factor that into your assumptions, right? Your decision making when you're thinking through things. If you're somebody that's a younger kid that would jump into and follow what Card Collector 2 is doing, or what Mojo Sports is doing, or what Roth Cards is doing, as an example, stop to think, like, how old are these guys? What experiences do they have outside of making these kinds of videos? Do they know what they're talking about? Because they might, but at the same time, they might not. So don't just buy into what they're saying, because they're just average guys, and they'll tell you that they're just average guys, right? And sometimes people just talk and say things, like I said, because they think it's the right thing to do, or they're not stopping to think about the impact that their words have on their viewership. So that's a sort of mini rant today. I know I just spoke maybe in circles. I do apologize. I just wanted to try and make that point across, because I see so many people that will either, jump in and hate on everyone, or just jump in and follow blindly what people are doing. So those are two things you sort of need to stop doing, right? And I don't want to be preaching to the choir here, but you sort of, hopefully you get the idea. People just take it with a grain of salt and get back to collecting cards and having fun. That's sort of a mini rant today. Apologies for the length of it. I hope you liked the video. Please share your thoughts down in the comments below, whether you agree with my thoughts on that. Like I said, I'm sort of a nice guy. I'm open to anything. I'm here to support everyone. I'm going to call out bad behavior when I see it, but at the same time, I'm here to defend people when, maybe they're being caught out unfairly. I'm not saying Sports Card Radio have caught these guys out unfairly. I think it's a bit tongue-in-cheek with them. They like to have a bit of fun, so that's not what I'm saying, but it's more so other people that you'll see on Instagram, they'll say Major Sports, because of what you've done in the past, you're a scammer. I'm not going to trust anything you're saying. People can change. People are allowed to improve. People are allowed to make mistakes and get better, right? That's how you learn as a person. When people say the same thing with Card Collector 2, with the Mark's Cards relationship, that's a business decision for him. So he'll learn and improve and become a better person, hopefully, with that moving forward. Same with the Backyard Breaks guys. They had that whole issue with the Kaboom with Trevor Lawrence, I think it was. They'll learn and hopefully improve. I still don't like them. I don't like them, but they're there for someone, right? People do like them. So talking circles again here, but just remember, keep that stuff sort of front of mind. Do your own research, back your own opinion. It's okay to watch what people are doing and sort of take that in, but make sure you're comfortable at the end of the day to make your own assumptions, make your own decisions, right? Don't just follow what people are saying blindly, because you don't know what these people are like. You don't know what their intentions are like. So go out there, do the best for yourself, and have fun within the hobby. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.